Here are 5 mindset shifts you need in order to be able to achieve your health goals this year. Listen up.
Makes you happy?
What makes me happy?
Yo, welcome back to another beautiful morning. Albeit it's rather cold and crisp, but just a fantastic morning here. I gotta tell you, this week was different than some previous ones that I've had. To be honest, it was a step backwards in a way. And that's really what I want to talk to you about today, is because this journey is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be easy all the time. My week started with me having a slightly bad reaction to a couple medication that I take that I don't take very often, but apparently when you take them at the same time, it's not the greatest thing in the world. And they actually knocked me out for like 2 or 3 days straight. I was just, flat on my bed. And so it really threw my whole week off, because even after I was able, to move around and get on with the week, it impacted my energy levels. It impacted, in a way, almost my decision making, because I hadn't eaten a lot either. So I definitely, when I was up and moving around again, I was overeating. Not necessarily eating the best thing, not making the best decisions. I only went to the gym twice this week as opposed to my usual 4. And so it just really threw my entire week off. And it was something that I knew could happen, but at the same time it frustrated me. And I wanted to understand why. And so I found there's 5 things that you really need to wrap your mind around or shift your mind to in order to have success in really anything, but especially in this health endeavor, this journey that I'm on here to improve my health, to master my health. So what I figured out to be able to move forward was, first of all, you have to prioritize consistency over intensity. It's not necessarily about how incredibly hard you work at any given point. It's about the little things done every single day that have this compounding effect over time. Same principle applies, to the wealthy. It's not like they're doing these massive moves and each move makes them this exponentially more wealthy. No, it's that they're making small incremental habits over time, and these habits compound on each other and build over time, a longer period of time, that great wealth that can be generational and pass on. Same principle applies to health. It's not like these guys that are incredibly healthy, extremely fit athletes, things like that. It's not like they've done one thing or made these big moves that made them these super athletes or these super fit and healthy people. No, it's because they developed these small, consistent attitudes or habits that they applied on a daily basis, and it's those baby steps forward, and those baby steps, brick upon brick, add upon each other, and over time have this compounding effect that exponentially differentiate them from people like myself, or where I'm at right now. So number 2 is you have to focus on process over outcome. Don't get bogged down with your daily result. I know, I'm tracking all my health stats, so like weight and body fat percentage, things of that nature, and I do that daily. And it's very easy to get frustrated or lose some of that resilience when on certain days you're saying, wait a second, I'm doing the right things, but my weight went up, or my percent body fat went up 0.1 or 2%. What's going on here? And you can get down on yourself and frustrated, and maybe, and you lose faith, and you start falling back into those bad habits. And in this situation, you can't do that. You have to trust the process and trust that over time, that process will get you the results you really want. So number 3 is you have to focus on progress over perfection. And I've hit on this in other videos before. You cannot expect yourself to be perfect. You cannot expect yourself to be perfect all the time, especially. You might have moments of quote-unquote perfection, but it's about those small steps for that progress, like I just said. Number 4, it's principle over preference. Now, when I first came across this one, I was like, what does that even mean? And what it really breaks down to, and it's very related to discipline, which I'll talk about in a second here, but what it really breaks down to is it's what do you want overall versus what do you want now? What is it you really want out of life? What is it you really want for your health? What is it you really want for your wealth versus what do you want right now? What is your temptations telling you have to have right now? And they're going to be very different most of the time. And so you have to resist that. You have to wrap your head around the big picture of where do I want to be? What's my big goal? And you have to stick to that like super glue. Because otherwise you're going to allow your whims to take you wherever your temptations want to go. And that won't get you anywhere. And then lastly, the 5th point is you have to focus on discipline over motivation. You are not going to be motivated all the time. This week was like that for me. Now, granted, I was not well. I was ill the first 2 or 3 days of this week. But after that, it was really hard to get myself up and moving again. Now, I did. Not every day. I'll be honest. Once I was up and moving, I did go back to the gym that first day, and I just wasn't feeling it the third day. And then on the last day, I did go back to the gym again. So it was this back and forth battle for me that week because the motivation, the illness had just taken it out of me. But you really do need to, on a daily basis, remind yourself, why am I doing this? What do I want to achieve? Who am I doing this for? Is it for me? Is it for my family? What are those big goals that you're wanting to push towards to achieve in your life? And focus on those things. I'm not going to go through all my specific stats. I'm realizing, honestly, who would care? But ultimately, I gained a couple pounds this week. Percent body fat was out. My activity was slightly low. Some stats did improve, but, it was overall, for me, it felt like a slight step backward. Just because starting with that illness and whatnot there. So, like I've said before, I'm just sharing my personal experience and what's working for me or what I'm experimenting on myself. I am no health expert. Consult a doctor or a professional in that situation to be able to make a plan for yourself. But don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to experiment a little either. So thanks for joining me on this leg of the pursuit of happiness. I really do appreciate it. If you liked what you heard, definitely please hit that like and subscribe button. It'll really help me out on being able to move forward here. And then just keep challenging yourself every day. Stay curious. Don't be afraid to make those mistakes. Don't be afraid to experiment. And then until next time, keep pursuing happiness. And we'll talk later, okay? Have a great day.